Now remember I used the term perigee before, meaning the lowest part of a flight closest to the ground? Well, the opposite of perigee is apogee. That's the highest part of the flight, the part where you're the farthest away from the Earth. Now you can see, this is a great shot because you can see all 5 boroughs of New York City: Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, and Staten Island, Long Island Sound, Sandy Hook, New Jersey, all the way down practically to Cape May, which is the southernmost tip of New Jersey, and we're seeing that from a point upstate New York. That is just amazing. Now we know that this is apogee because this is the next picture. Pop. That's when the balloon went pop and ended up looking like that. There was a line from an old Betty Davis movie that says, "Buckle your seatbelts, it's going to be a bumpy night." Well, it's going to be a bumpy ride all the way down. Now, while all that's going on up in the air, we're down on the ground. Just after we launched, we did a fast prediction of where we thought it was going to land. And so we all got into our cars, we started driving. And here we are crossing the Hudson River. Remember I showed that to you before? And we're constantly monitoring Instamapper on our smartphones and our laptops. And as a matter of fact, Ms. Paletti was the first one to notice that it had reached the ground. Check it out. And this is what it looked like on someone's smartphone. It indicated that it landed really close to where we had predicted. We thought it was going to, actually it came in within about 2.5 miles of where we thought it was going to come down, which for balloon launching is like mondo action. But meanwhile on the balloon, this is what things are looking like as you're coming down. That, I believe, is Route 22. And you can tell by the tilt, yeah, this thing is swinging pretty good. It's going like this. That's why we had to strap everything down. Now I'm guessing we're about a minute from landing. Again, this is Route 22. Go through some of these quickly. Yeah, we were hoping we were going to end up in there because we didn't want to have to fish this out of the pond. And that's around about where it ended up landing, in a marshy area. And we're getting closer and closer. Almost on the ground. I wish I knew who this person who lives here so I could send them this picture. Almost on the ground. And this is the last picture the camera took before it hit the ground. We think what happened is it got nudged before it got nudged to hit the ground, and that might have shut the camera off. But the camera survived quite nicely, it just stopped taking pictures. And here is a payload getting retrieved by Jonathan and someone else who couldn't be here, a fellow by the name of John Teddy. And our results, well, we launched from Roscoe, New York. We landed in Pauling, New York. We traveled about 78 miles. Average speed was 35 miles an hour. Our top speed was 63 miles an hour. We missed our target by under 5 miles. And the total flight time from the ground to near space back down, only 2 hours and 12 minutes. Beat that, NASA. And pretty much, thank you. For instance, if you go outside in daylight, they should turn colors. Granted, it's cloudy today, it might be a little slow, but it should still work. But you can see how other things help protect against UV. For instance, if you wear glasses, you can see if your glasses help filter out the ultraviolet. You can see if sunglasses do. Or if you put on sunblock, put a little sunblock on your bracelet and see how well it works. And one last thing I want to leave you with is that I hope this inspires you, because as much as I like to say that we're so great and we're so wonderful, maybe we are great and wonderful, but we're not the only people doing it. People all over this country and other countries are doing their own little balloon launches. This is a group of 8th graders who got some help from grown-ups who are launching balloons from Springville, New York. Wow. Any questions or comments? I'm good.
So Bill, you want to
Bill, you want to Oh, I'm sorry.
What's your question?
When the balloon was close to the ground and the parachute was out, did the parachute get like stuck in a tree and then you got it down? Or?
No, we were really fortunate. It did land around a bunch of trees, but somehow it didn't get caught on any of the branches, and there weren't any punctures on the parachute, so we were able to use it again. We think it was just going so fast that any branches that it hit, it just like broke through. There's a little chunks.
Right here. So
Yeah.
apparently, if you drop a styrofoam container from like 60 or 90,000 feet, it's about the damage you can expect on your styrofoam container.
If you have a parachute.
If you have a parachute on it, yes.
What's your question? Yeah.
What if like close to the sun? Will it just explode?
It explodes not because it's close to the sun, but because there's so little atmosphere that the balloon gets bigger and bigger and bigger and expands, and it just can't get any bigger and it pops.
So the balloon isn't up long enough to really be affected by the sun. If the balloon were to float around for a couple days, just being exposed to the air would have a big impact on it. This, I don't know if you can tell, well, actually there's a balloon flying outside right now. But if you take a close look at that balloon versus this one, it's a lot lighter color. So this starts sort of oxidizing just in the air. So the sun does not affect it nearly as much as just being in the air does.
Yeah?
Yesterday, I read about this. Last night, I read this book, and it was about space, and it said all the things about space, and it's like really cool, and really cool part of space, and when you sit on this tiny planet, it's really hot.
Yeah, that's partially because of the atmosphere, but that's why we use the hand warmers to keep it really warm, because nothing will work without that.
So it looks like, I don't know if
We have a lot of
time,
questions.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
we
we have time
can show, if you want to ask us questions while we're outside showing the balloon, you can just come up to us and ask whatever you want.
Right,
But
actually, we have a payload flying right now outside, so you guys can go out and look up and see what this looks like if it were about to come down.
and it's
If it wasn't raining, we would have gone to
Raining.
see it.